Welcome to Talk Blaze, where everyday stories ignite your English learning journey. Today, we step into one of the most secretive and powerful regimes in the world, North Korea. At the center of it all is a leader, both feared and worshipped, Kim Jong Un. But how did he rise to power? What shaped the man who controls an entire nation with an iron grip? Let's uncover his story. Kim Jong Un remains one of the most secretive and controversial leaders in the world. Born into North Korea's ruling dynasty, his rise to power was unexpected. With no formal military or political experience, many doubted his ability to lead after the death of his father, Kim Jong Il. But he quickly consolidated control, eliminating rivals and securing his rule. Under his leadership, North Korea expanded its nuclear program, engaged in high-stakes diplomacy, and maintained strict control over its people. His rule is marked by secrecy, propaganda, and a constant struggle to maintain power in a world that continues to watch closely. How did he solidify his position, and what does the future hold for his regime? When Kim Jong Un assumed power in 2011 after the death of his father, many saw him as inexperienced and unlikely to maintain control. At just 27 years old, he had spent much of his early life studying abroad in Switzerland under a false identity. Unlike his father and grandfather, he had no direct military background, no proven leadership skills, and no reputation among North Korea's elite. Many within the regime saw him as a weak successor, one who could be easily manipulated or even overthrown. But within just a few years, he proved them wrong. Kim moved swiftly to eliminate threats, consolidating his power through purges, executions, and strategic reshuffling within the government and military. One of his most shocking moves was the execution of his own uncle, Jang Song-taek, in 2013. Jang had been one of the most powerful figures in North Korea, a key political operator, and an economic reformist. But Kim saw him as a threat, and in a dramatic public trial, Jang was accused of treason and swiftly executed. The message was clear: Kim Jong-un was in full control. From that point on, he continued to cement his rule. Military generals who had served under his father were dismissed or executed. High-ranking officials were replaced with loyalists. Even his half-brother, Kim Jong-nam, was assassinated in 2017 in Malaysia, allegedly on Kim's orders. The young leader had eliminated nearly every potential rival within his family and government. At the same time, he used propaganda to build his image as a strong, fearless leader. State media portrayed him as a military strategist and a genius on par with his grandfather, Kim Il-sung. He adopted his grandfather's hairstyle, mannerisms, and speech patterns to strengthen his connection to North Korea's founding leader. Public appearances showed him surrounded by generals, giving direct military orders and inspecting missile tests. Despite skepticism from the outside world, Kim Jong-un had successfully transformed himself from an untested successor into an absolute ruler. But securing power was just the first step. Next, he would turn his attention outward to nuclear weapons, international diplomacy, and a battle for North Korea's survival on the world stage. Despite his firm grip on power, Kim Jong-un faced a major challenge: North Korea's survival in a world that saw it as a threat. The country was economically weak, isolated by international sanctions, and heavily reliant on China. Meanwhile, the United States and its allies saw his nuclear ambitions as a direct danger to global security. To counter this, Kim accelerated North Korea's nuclear weapons program. Missile tests became more frequent, each one showcasing increasing range and capability. By 2017, North Korea claimed it had developed a hydrogen bomb and intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, capable of reaching the U.S. mainland. The world took notice. But with every missile test, the pressure on North Korea grew. More sanctions were imposed, crippling the economy. Trade restrictions cut off vital resources. The country, already struggling, faced growing hardship. Yet, Kim refused to back down. Instead, he turned a crisis into a display of strength, rallying his people with propaganda, portraying North Korea as a nation under siege by foreign enemies. Then came the biggest gamble of his leadership, direct negotiations with world leaders. In a shocking turn, Kim agreed to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in 2018, marking the first-ever meeting between a North Korean leader and a sitting U.S. president. For the first time, Kim wasn't just a dictator, he was a global player. But was this a true step toward diplomacy, or just another strategic move to secure his regime's survival? By 2020, Kim Jong Un faced his greatest challenge yet: a collapsing economy, worsening sanctions, and a global pandemic that pushed North Korea into near-total isolation. Borders were sealed, trade with China plummeted, and food shortages worsened. For the first time, cracks in his rule began to show. Rumors of his poor health and even death spread worldwide after he disappeared from public view for weeks. Was his grip on power slipping? But then, he reappeared, stronger than before. Defying speculation, he launched new missile tests, purged disloyal officials, and reinforced his rule with absolute authority. With North Korea more cut off than ever, he shifted focus inward, tightening control over the economy, expanding surveillance, and ensuring that his leadership remained unquestioned. Despite global opposition, he secured deeper ties with China and Russia, bypassing Western sanctions. His survival wasn't luck, it was strategy. While the world predicted his fall, Kim once again proved them wrong. Against all odds, he had outlasted crises, eliminated rivals, and maintained his grip on power. North Korea remained under his rule, and for now, no one could challenge him. But for how long? What do you think? Is Kim a master strategist securing his rule, or is his grip slipping under pressure? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our next episode for more deep dives into the world's most powerful figures.